In this video, we're going to take a look at the Miktver 10.1-inch monitor, a 1024 by 600 LCD IPS display. We'll open the box, see what's inside, and then look at the many different ways that we can use this particular monitor. Now, before we get started with the unboxing, I do want to thank the folks over at Miktver for sending this over. Now let's open the box and see what's inside. Okay, we do get a user's manual, the model MK10-6. Now, some of you may already be questioning the resolution of this monitor, but stay with me. I think we may find that while not full HD, this might be perfect, especially for my use case. Start over here with the accessories. I believe I know what that's for. That is for the mount itself, provides a little vibration assistance and keeps the thing from skirting around and slipping on your desk. We also have our power supply. It looks like this is a 12 volt, 1 amp output. This is very similar to many of the power supplies you get with a lot of these types of devices. Also includes an HDMI cable. I know manufacturers want to include HDMI cables with these monitors all the time, but boy, I just have a ton of these things laying around now. There's a little white package here. Let's see what we have in here. I believe this is part of the monitor mount. It is. This comes with what's pretty standard with these class of monitors. It's these little base that you can put together. By unscrewing this, you'll plug in the base here, put this on the back of the monitor, and that will hold it. You'll see that here in a minute. And here's the rest of the base. There we go. And as you can see, what we'll do is we'll take this, we'll unscrew this. Don't need to take it all the way out. And then we'll put it over this mechanism right here. Actually, I lied to you. In this case, we may have to take it completely apart to get it on there. And we do. And there we go. There's the base. So moving this will let this move up and down, and you can move it left and right if you loosen it up enough. There we go. And then you can get it just the way you want it. And because it has this knurling or this gearing here, you can kind of lock it down into the position that you want. Let's go ahead and lock it down. Let me raise that just a little bit. There we go. See, we have some holes here for mounting if you want to mount it on a wall. Now back to this piece. This appears to be double-sided sticky. So if you wanted to use this double-sided sticky to stick this down so it doesn't move, you can do that. I'm not sure how permanent that is. That's something I probably will not use. All right, let's get to the monitor itself. All right, taking the monitor out of the sleeve here. It is a 16 by 9 sort of. As I said, it's a 1024 by 600. Here's the thing that really makes these monitors so good for certain applications such as myself, someone who loves retro computing. We have, of course, our power. We have VGA. It will also accept HDMI, which is nice. We have these RCA. We have a USB. Typically, you can play video or images from there. And then you have your BNC connector. For today, we're going to plug it into the Atari 2600 back here, which actually has HDMI out. It's a great little device. It's a nod to the old Atari 2600s, but includes some modern features such as that HDMI and USB-C powering and a wireless controller. So we're going to connect that to the HDMI to see what this screen looks like. So that will give us the best case scenario for the screen. We'll also see, because I believe that exports video as, I think, 1080 by 720, we'll be able to see how that resolution matches up and if we get any distortion. All right, let's go ahead and get this plastic off of here. All right, let's go ahead and place this on our stand. So this will simply slide. We'll put this little pad right here into this slot. And then you can change the height by moving it up and down and then tightening this little tensioner here. There we go. The monitor is ready for connection. Now, what I'll do is I'm going to go ahead and take a quick break. I'm going to get everything connected, and I'll be right back. All right, the first device I have connected is a little Mi box. This is an Android TV box, and it's just a good device because we can play some HD video. As a matter of fact, I'll play some HD video from my channel, and we'll see how it looks on the screen. Now, at first glance, I will tell you this screen looks really good. This is an IPS display, which means we have really great view angles, and I'll try and share those with you in this video. Let's look at these buttons across the bottom. First of all, if you hit these two buttons right here, all you're getting is brightness up and down. So I'm going to bring the brightness down to about 50%, and then I just want to make sure that we can still see everything fine in the video. That looks really good, and we can crank up the brightness if you need it a little bit brighter. Now I've got some ambient light here that is probably not the best case scenario. I could bring that light down, but what I find is when I bring that light down, it tends to wash out the menu that you see. So we're going to keep it where it is so that you can read the menu. Now after the brightness down and up buttons, we have the actual menu for the on-screen display. You can see that here. Now, a nice feature is it is telling us that this is outputting a 1080p image, but we know we're not getting all those pixels because this monitor only displays a 1024 by 600, but it is at least in a close approximation of that aspect ratio. That works pretty well. So let's see what kind of menu options we have here. We can change our brightness, our contrast, and our saturation to get things the way we want it. At its defaults, it actually looks pretty good. Next option down, it looks like we've got some option here not available. It's probably an option for one of the other connectors, but we also have here, we have our language, our horizontal position, our vertical position, so we can shift things. We also have our on-screen timeout, which I really need to change that. So let's go ahead and do that now. 10 seconds is just a little short for me. There we go. We'll take that up to 40 seconds. Then we have a reset option to reset all of our menu items. We can change our blue screen on or off when it boots up. We also have overscan mode. We have PC mode, and there is also something called DVD mode, which will change the zoom ratio for certain pictures. We'll take a look at that a little bit later. We can also change our sharpness, and we can rotate the image around the screen. And then finally, we have a way to change our volume. Unfortunately, you have to go into the menu to change the volume. You can't change it with the on-screen buttons. Now, I would have preferred that these buttons right here were volume rather than brightness, but that's a decision that was made. So you'll just need to remember if you need to change the volume that's coming into this specific device, you're either going to need to be able to change that volume with maybe the volume control on this device, which the Mi Box actually supports that, or you have to go into the menus themselves and change that volume. Little clumsy, but set it the way you want it and leave it. Use this button to go back, get out. All right, let's go ahead and take a look at the video quality of this monitor with the Mi Box. And here's my most recent video. Let's go ahead and pull that up. Okay, so for this particular device, the Mi Box, I can change the volume using my remote. It's not changing the volume on the screen itself, it's just changing the output volume from the Mi Box. Again, if you need to change the volume on the screen or the monitor itself, you're going to have to use those menus. But if you look at that screen, the colors are really good. They're not oversaturated, pretty realistic. I'm looking at it compared, this was filmed in the same area where I'm looking here, and a lot of these colors look very realistic and very similar to what I'm looking at around this little studio area. And again, the view angles are very good. I can be way over here and I can see almost as clearly as I can up front, probably about 170-degree viewing angle. If you're looking for just a monitor for output, this is a great little display. And this thing comes in under about 60 bucks, depending on when you buy it, if there's any promotional discounts. But for under 60 bucks, you're getting a pretty nice little 10-inch or 10.1-inch display that is perfect for just a secondary display that you might need. Now, with this HDMI, you could even attach this to your computer and use it as a second display off to the right or off to the left if you wanted to. And again, with all the connectors we have on the back, we could also connect this to a VCR, if you had an old VCR or a DVD player using those legacy RCA plugs. You also have a BNC connector for certain cameras if you need that specific connector, so that is available to you. If you're enjoying the review of this monitor, make sure you go down below and you hit subscribe. Make sure you hit those alerts, do all that business, leave a comment if you have questions. But also, do me a favor, check out my second channel at retrocombs-tech, where I cover more modern types of technology similar to this, and we take kind of a retro spin on those modern devices. So you can find that link down in the description below as well, and check out this link right here. And if you want to save even more money on this monitor, make sure you check out the video description below, where I will have a discount code for you along with the link directly to Amazon so that you can purchase this at a reduced cost. Okay, so the next device we're going to plug in is the Atari 2600 Plus, which is a modern recreation of the original Atari 2600. I did use that HDMI cable, though, that I said I probably wouldn't use. It was just handy, and so I plugged it in. So we are using the included HDMI cable. I am using the wireless controller that's already been synced, and we just need to turn it on. So we'll come over here and we'll flip on the Atari 2600. Very interestingly, though, it's not even turned on, and I'm getting this Atari feedback from the HDMI port. I've never noticed that before until I use this monitor. Even if I unplug, here, I'm gonna show you something really weird. Even if I unplug the Atari 2600, I'm getting some kind of power feedback from the monitor through HDMI to power the wireless adapter and that screen. Now, I can't turn it on. As you can see, it's not getting enough power for the device to operate, but that's just very strange. So I'm just sharing that. As a matter of fact, I may not even leave that in this video, but I may share that with other folks. I got to figure that out. All right, let's go ahead and plug it back in. Okay, we've got it turned on. Wait for Yars Revenge to load. And I love Yars Revenge because it's got a lot of color, a lot of action, great sound, and it's a great way to demonstrate what the screen looks like with some retro gaming device. And there you go. Here is our Yars Revenge. Everything looks like it's fine. Does it look stretched out? Let's go ahead and check the menu, though. Menu says we're capturing a 720p image, so that's good. Again, we're still not getting every pixel, though, because this is only a 600 resolution in the vertical. Now, there was a setting I want to check out here. We come down here to this menu here. We saw this overscan. It says PC mode. I'm going to enter there. And I want to pop down and hit that and see what happens if I change that to DVD mode. Looks like it blows it up a little bit. So it's a little bit bigger on the screen. Doesn't look like it's distorted it any, but does kind of zoom in the image a little bit. Just wanted to check that out in case you wanted to see if you had an image that was a little small. Now, we do have these black bars around this because if you remember, the original Atari 2600 was for a 4x3 screen. So still kind of interesting. Could be stretched a little bit, might need to come in a little bit, but I don't know. Maybe we can adjust that. I'm not sure. Let's see. The problem is I don't know how much I would adjust it. So we have horizontal position and vertical position, but we don't have any way to change the width of the image. Wasn't expecting that. Just thought I'd see if that was an option. We do have our volume here. We'll probably have to change that in a little bit. All right, let's play a quick game of Yars Revenge and see what it looks like on this screen. Sounds good. Here we go. Level 1 is already completed. And you can see the colors. You can see why I really like to demo with this game. Let's try one more level. Let's take a look at one more device connected to this monitor, and that will be the Commodore 64C. So I'll unplug everything here and we'll take it over to another location. We'll take a look at it and see how it works with that device. Okay, we've moved over here to my Commodore 64C setup right here. If you've not had a chance to see this setup before, be sure and check out my video of how I put all of this together, including my Bitbinder's dual drive, my Bitbinder 64 power, my Ultimate 2, and my Cloner Alliance AV, and this yo-yo monitor. You'll find that link in the video description below. But now what we want to do is, instead of using this yo-yo, which I really like because it's a 4x3, I do want to give you an opportunity to see what this monitor looks like in this setup. Now, if you watch the video on this setup, you'll remember one of the things I did not like about the yo-yo was it was not an IPS display. It's okay, but the view angle, you've got to be right on it. What we've already noticed with this particular monitor is it has great view angles. So the Miktver Monitor is connected to the Commodore 64 via HDMI, but I'm taking the composite out from the 64 into the Cloner Alliance Viewlight AV, and then running that composite out via HDMI. That'll give us the cleanest signal so that you can see what is possible with this monitor with a retro computer like the Commodore 64. And that looks really good. Let's go back into Commodore Basic. Yeah, and that looks really good. Let's go ahead and load a game. And again, really good angles. I can come around here to either side and I can still see it. On here, I can see it, but the colors start to wash out a little bit. So the video quality on this is a little better. Now, the one thing that I don't like, again, is this is a 16:9 aspect ratio. There's no way in the menus to change that to 4:3. Kind of wish that they'd added that option, because then it would allowed us to use those composite inputs and make sure that we didn't have a stretched screen. But I want to see what a game looks like on this. Let's go ahead and load something on our Ultimate 2 Plus cartridge. Let's go ahead and load Zaxxon, one of my personal favorites. The text is very crisp here. I do like that. All right, we'll load that up. And there we go. Let me crank up the volume just a little bit for us. There we go. Now we can hear all those wonderful Zaxxon sounds. And that doesn't appear to be stretched out too bad, because it is pulling in, and we've got some black bars on the top. Not a great game there though, but we do have some black over here. So it's not stretching it out completely, which is kind of nice. I'm not sure if there's some kind of auto selection there, if that's just the nature of the Cloner Alliance Viewlight AV that's doing that for us. All right, that's the Miktver Monitor with a Commodore 64. Okay, so there's an example of playing a retro game on this monitor. Looks great. Have to say, this would be a fun little device just to have sitting next to a console like the Atari 2600 Plus for gaming if you have family or friends over and you just wanted a little tabletop experience. So there's my review of the Mikter 10.1-inch monitor. It's a great little device, as I said, and I think you'll enjoy it for one of your setups. And hey, if you like this video, be sure to check out this one. This video is on the Cloner Alliance Box Pro. That's the gadget that was featured during this video. And if you want another great gadget video, check out this one right here. That's it for me. retroCombs out. Let's turn this device off.